now that the last Starship launch, which unfortunately resulted in the loss of the booster and upper stage, has been over 3 months ago. SpaceX has now released comprehensive details regarding the issues that arose during that November launch. In addition, the Federal Aviation Administration recently declared that its investigation into the accident was completed, paving the way for the much-awaited mid-March launch of Starship. So, what precisely was the cause of the IF-2 mission explosion? What has SpaceX done, and what more needs to be done to get formal launch approval for the third Starship flight? Tune in as we examine these important queries in today's episode of SpaceX Flight. Before we get in, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit the bell, so you don't miss another awesome episode. And with that, let's dive right in. On February 27, SpaceX released an update on their website, showing all the achievements of their second test flight, explaining in depth all the factors present and also giving us a comprehensive understanding of the elements present in the Starship's second test flight. All 33 Raptor engines propelled the rocket off the pad, eventually preforming hot staging and separating successfully. The booster has been planned to execute a series of burns to then finally conduct a soft landing off the Gulf of Mexico. However, things started to go awry after stage separation, when, as SpaceX put it, during this burn, several engines began shutting down before one engine failed energetically, quickly cascading to a rapid unscheduled disassembly of the booster. The vehicle breakup occurred more than 3.5 minutes into the flight at an altitude of around 90 kilometers over the Gulf of Mexico. In short, the main reason for the disintegration of the Super Heavy booster was identified to be a blockage in the filters supplying oxidizer to the engines, which caused the turbopump's input pressure to drop, which ultimately resulted in one engine failing and the vehicle's eventual loss. In case you are unaware, the 33 Raptor engines of the Super Heavy are driven by liquid oxygen and methane, which act as fuel and oxidizer, respectively. These propellants are kept in sizable main tanks and supplied to the engines via an intricate system of pipes. If fuel delivery becomes blocked, it indicates a problem with the hardware within the spacecraft, including the bulkheads, dome, valves, and plumbing systems. SpaceX is now targeting those areas for modifications and improvements as per a later statement by the company. The Starship's upper stage was also lost thanks to a very different reason. While all 6 Raptor engines successfully stayed lit during its burn, a planned release of excess liquid oxygen was carried out, which was also a dummy payload, and its only purpose was so SpaceX can gather data on the massive actual payloads launched in the future, but needs to be dumped overboard to meet necessary conditions for re-entry and splashdown. When it was carrying out the function, a leak occurred, started a fire in the system, interrupting communication with ground control, and shutdown of the 6 engines. Then the autonomous flight safety system detected the vehicle had veered off course, then finally activated the self-destruct mechanism, destroying the vehicle. It had reached 24,000 kilometers per hour, just shy of the 28,000 needed for orbit, and was at an altitude of 150 kilometers. Now, in response to these failures, SpaceX has undertaken hardware modifications to prevent leaks and fires. Also, they are moving away from hydraulic gimbals to electric gimbals on the Raptor engines, thereby reducing flammability risks. They also have been implementing a new electronic thrust vector control system for the upper stage Starship, as well as reducing propellant loading time, and all are being implemented on all Starship designs they have stored. Elon Musk has mentioned he expects the third flight to happen in the second week of March, and also emphasized the importance of recursive improvement of designs to build a system capable of carrying a variety of crew and cargo to a variety of destinations. All of SpaceX's stated efforts above cannot go ahead without FAA approval. Recently, the FAA closed the mishap investigation and identified 17 corrective actions for SpaceX to complete, 10 for Starship and 7 for Super Heavy, a significantly reduced number from the 63 corrective actions after the first flight, indicating that the implementations will be far quicker than the first launch. Nevertheless, SpaceX still has work to do, but eventually, they can move one step closer to the third flight and one step closer to the stars. That's about it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, so you don't miss another awesome episode. And with that, we hope to see you again next time.